Today we're talking about the struggles in the different phases of your life. How's it going, guys? drtankpharmd here, board certified practicing pharmacist and personal health coach, helping action takers like you take back control of their lives and emotional health. And although I am a practicing medicine specialist, I'm not your specialist. So if you have any questions regarding your condition, please see your doctor. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. It helps me a lot, lets me know these videos are helpful. Let's get into it. Identity is an important aspect. It's so important that it defines who we are, what we do, and the choices we make. Without it, we feel lost, like we don't have a compass in our lives. Some of us feel so lost that we feel incapacitated. As a child, we go through a lot of micro phases in our lives in school. You have lower grade elementary to upper grade to junior high to high school. These are clearly defined by our ages, and it helps us distinguish where we are in the rank of things. Once we graduate high school, it's only labeled adult. And it doesn't tell us what phases we are in our life, and it doesn't help us at all. Because there's no clear identity, some of us feel even more lost than the children. Now, these stages in adulthood are not clearly labeled. Maybe it's because everybody has a different route in life. But what we can do is we can take some general guidelines, bring up some questions, and bring up the conflict that arises with it. As of this video, it's November, and colleges are starting to get applications. You might be in the phase where you're wondering if college is for you or not. Some of your friends may be bound for college for sure, and some of them may be bound for work. If you're unsure of what you want to do, that's a struggle in your identity. We're going to talk more about work later, but right now, your identity as a worker is being in conflict with your identity as being a student. This loss of identity may make you feel incapacitated because you're so afraid of taking the next step. Your identity conflict of being a worker or staying a student is up to you to define. Now let's say you go to school and you graduate. You enter the work world. You're now officially an adult. You have to follow the standards of the work environment and fulfill the work responsibilities given to you. You wish you were that carefree child from before, which wasn't that long ago, when all you had to do was go to school. But now you're an adult, and you have to do what you're told by your managers. Or you have to leave your job. You're probably feeling like your identity as a child has slipped away, and you're forced to take this new identity as a responsible adult. And that's where the conflict comes in, because you're forced to take the identity. Now let's say you've worked a bit, and you found your significant other, and you want to spend the rest of your lives together. You get married, you have kids, and you become a family person. This is where your responsibilities change again. You're no longer just a single person, but you have a significant other, you have a family, and you have work responsibilities to deal with. You might be at the point where you're wondering, I wish I had my single life again. I wish I could be free again. What could my life be if I was still free? But there's a big conflict with that one. This is one of the most iconic conflicts in any person's life. It's the midlife crisis. This is where you realize maybe your life isn't where you want it to be. So you think about how you were before and the possibility of what your life could be. Maybe you could be free again if you abandoned your current life. But this comes at a huge cost. It comes at you sacrificing your current life. Maybe it means sacrificing your significant other and your children. This could change the course of their lives forever. You could be potentially causing a lot of pain to the people closest and most important to you. It also means you have to evaluate whether you can handle the fear of the unknown of the future. It seems exciting and it seems bright because you're not in it. Are you able to handle the stress? You don't have that youthful energy you used to have. In addition, the dating pool that you're jumping into might not be the same as it was before. So you have to ask yourself, is this decision definitely going to make you happy? Or can you work with what you have? Because happiness is relative, and happiness can only come from inside. Now let's say you have children, and they're grown up, and they're about to move out. Then comes the next phase of an adult identity crisis, the empty nest syndrome. You used to be a caretaker of your children, but now as they're adults, you don't have that identity anymore. You're no longer required to take care of them. It leaves you feeling a little bit empty because you no longer have those responsibilities. In addition, you have a lot of free time. So the conflict comes when you have to figure out what to do with your time and mental energy. You have to figure out what your new responsibilities are and what you want to do with your life. Another phase comes at retirement. So let's say you've worked with a company for a long time and it's time for you to retire. You're given all this freedom and you give up all your responsibilities with the company. But now with all your time, what are you gonna do? You used to cherish your identity as a worker, as a hard worker at that. And now, you have all this free time with no responsibilities. Sometimes it takes a while for you to figure out what you want to do. So the question is, who are you at this time? Finally, if you're capable of surviving till your senior years and still capable of thinking, you're able to think about what your life means. It's this final stage where you have to realize what your legacy is. Have the relationships you built in your life been meaningful? Are there people who will remember you when you pass away? There's a phrase that goes, you die twice. Once is when your physical body has passed away. And the second time is when the last person who remembers you passes away. You have to ask yourself, is your legacy long enough to survive that? Not everybody goes through all these stages. Important to bring it up so that when you face them, you know what questions to ask of yourself. You have to know what your responsibilities and priorities are so that you can know and understand your identity. An identity crisis occurs often when there's a conflict of responsibilities and priority. We all have to make our decisions, or we're stuck, incapacitated, and completely confused. Now, your emotions can take over when you're stuck in your identity crisis. That's why I developed the Emotional RX program that provides you the tools that help you deal with your emotions in the moment when they occur, so that you don't make life-changing decisions that could affect you. Check it out on the link below. When a lot of people assess their emotional health, there are 3 mistakes that are most common. Check it out in the ebook below. Don't forget to click like and subscribe, and until next time guys, be healthy.